Nothing personal, kid, should be the unofficial subtitle of Frogue. You gotta say it in a gravelly, wandering samurai voice, though. Frogue is designed around the turbo-specific anime fantasy, and maybe just as much the meme, of teleporting behind your foe and them being a corpse by the time your sword is sheathed. One click will zip you to a location and any enemy en route dies. It's locomotion and combat joined into a single button, and it is satisfying to perform. But the setting for that jewel isn't a traditional action game. High bullet density, intentionally awkward movement angles, and turn-based combat nudge Frogue into something resembling a brainy puzzler, albeit one with solutions so plentiful and kills so smooth, it never really feels that way when you're actually playing. Its scope contents itself with being a little game jammy. Don't expect the builds or meta progression to yield vastly different gameplay styles that really could have justified the rogue in Frogue, but the few hours it does present are stylish, fun, and successfully deliver on its you're already dead swordsman fantasy. If instant teleportation and single hit kills sound overpowered, you have to combine that with double-edged sword of being a frog. You can stick to any surface, which is super handy for Frogue's omnidirectional arenas, but you can't do simple left and right movements. You're always fixed into a hop off of your current surface and onto something in your diagonal. Couple that with enemies that love projectiles, and you get a game where intentional movement is paramount. Any given run has you spawning into a procedurally generated square room, samurai dashing through each enemy inside, and repeating for each room on a floor, acquiring upgrades and killing bosses all the way through. You've got a combo system that rewards subsequent kills, so every movement shouldn't just be a hop to safety, but a new jumping off point for your next strike, and the strike after that. All made possible thanks to telegraphed enemy intents. When they're charging up a bullet to fire at you, they'll glow, and your dash always registers before they fire, which means you don't just get the sensation of cutting someone down, but doing it right before they're about to blast you. It's a thrill, and that's before you get into the few other techniques our titular Frogue has at his disposal. Localized time manipulation via chrono grenades allow you to stop time and zip between a bunch of enemies simultaneously. And you've also got a weapon throwing mechanic that allows you to hit foes at range, but also demands you grab the sword back before you move on to the next. It takes only seconds to understand the entire toolkit, which allows every room to be solvable with the same core movement fundies. There's a number of advanced techniques you can acquire through upgrades, but some feel more essential than others. Gating parries and deflects behind non-guaranteed power-ups is a little deflating when you don't get them, both because they're very powerful, but also because of how core they feel to the swordsman versus projectile user fantasy. I always felt a little naked without them. A more explicit con is those same readable enemy intents that allow you to plan in advance don't always translate to all aspects of combat. Bullets are much easier to read before they're fired than after. Some, not all, have projectiles that are weirdly shaped, whose direction and travel distance can be unclear. Enemy hitboxes don't always extend as long as you think they do too, causing wasted turns because you may have only nudged against a foe's model rather than cutting cleanly through them. I frequently found myself wanting some sort of indicator that would tell me if my projected path was actually going to intercept with my target. Frogue simply but successfully delivers on its one-hit kill fantasy. Its limited run variety prevents these froggy legs from stretching as far as they're capable of, but the jumps this game does make don't disappoint. Its unique everything is the floor combat arenas allow for slick movement and slicker slashes with cold steel. Psh, nothing personnel, kid.